Nick Brandt is a professional photographer who works exclusively in Africa. He is famous for his powerful black and white photos that are distinct from the colored, action-packed photos of his contemporaries. He was born in London, England, and he studied painting and film at the Central St. Martin's College of Arts and Design. In 1992, Brandt moved to California and made a name for himself directing music videos. He has worked with notable musicians such as Michael Jackson, Jewel, and Moby. During a 1995 shoot of Michael Jackson's Earth Song in Tanzania, Brandt was struck by the beauty of the animals in East Africa. After that shoot, he felt that he could not sufficiently express his love for animals in any way other than capturing them on film. In 2000, he embarked on a project to capture the beauty of East Africa before it disappeared due to human activity. Brandt prefers not to use zoom lenses because he feels the personality of the animals he photographs can only be well captured up close. He has held solo exhibitions at different galleries all over the world, including the Shapiro Gallery in Sydney, Australia, the Bernheimer Fine Arts in Munich, Germany, and the June Bateman Gallery in New York, New York. Brandt's first book, On This Earth, features 66 photos he took from 2000 to 2004. The introductions to this book were written by Jane Goodall and author Alice Sebold. Brandt's second book, A Shadow Falls, is made up of 58 photos he took from 2005 to 2008, and features an introduction by Peter Singer. Since 2010, Brandt has been working on a third book that will complete his trilogy. Its title will only be revealed once it is published. In September 2010, the photographer formed the Big Life Foundation in response to the increased number of elephants that were being poached for their tusks. The foundation was formed to help in the conservation of Africa's wildlife and ecosystem. Brandt currently resides in Topanga, California. In the book of On This Earth, A Shadow Falls, a remarkable fusion of two books takes shape. The tale goes that the initial publication of the first book failed to capture the nuanced tones and subtle essence of the images, leaving the artist dissatisfied. Time passed as he tirelessly sought a suitable printer, until finally, the second book reached completion. And so, the two volumes merged, becoming a singular work. Brandt, in his pursuit, veers away from conventional wildlife photography that strives to portray mere reality. Instead, he embraces a style akin to classical large-format portraiture. His animal subjects, devoid of artifice, assume an intimate, emotional quality reminiscent of the penetrating gazes immortalized by Dorothea Lange. Each subject, untamed and unposed, poses a formidable challenge. Approaching them with enough proximity to capture the frames, as he has done, risks startling them or even incurring danger. I cannot help but commend anyone with the audacity to photograph a lion using a regular lens mounted on a camera that reverberates like a gunshot upon release. The images themselves are rendered solely in black and white, with subtle toning, reportedly captured through a Pentax medium format camera. By studying the luminosity of foliage and the sky, one can surmise that many of the photographs were taken using a combination of filters and possibly even infrared film. Regardless of the chosen medium and method, the visual outcomes are breathtaking. They possess an organic softness that conveys emotion while exuding a profound richness in tones that renders both subject and image timeless. Immersing oneself in these images elicits a sensation of peering into another era and a different world. At times, the intensity of the gaze evokes a curious reversal, making it seem as though one is the subject of observation rather than the observer. This sensation is particularly palpable in the tightly framed portraits of individual animals. I can only imagine the overwhelming emotional experience of encountering these portraits in a grand exhibition format. Perhaps this was Brandt's intention, not merely to showcase aesthetic prowess, which is undeniably remarkable, but to convey the profound experience and emotions he himself felt during his encounters. From this vantage point, Nearly every image in the book is a triumph, a remarkable feat considering the sheer abundance of hundreds of photographs. Admittedly, some of them start to feel somewhat predictable towards the end, especially those depicting large groups of animals. However, interspersed among them are undoubtedly a few destined to become timeless masterpieces. The image of the elephant, draped in a cloud of dust, immediately comes to mind. In certain instances, the overall tonal quality and aesthetic bear a striking resemblance to Salgado's work, yet Brandt imbues his compositions with an even greater sense of reserved grandeur. One cannot escape the palpable understanding of the animal's relentless struggle for survival in such an unforgiving environment. Across the Ravaged Land is the third and final volume in Nick Brandt's trilogy of books documenting the disappearing natural world and animals of East Africa. Across the Ravaged Land's title, combined with the titles of Brandt's first two books, captures the change he has witnessed. On this earth, a shadow falls across the ravaged land. Across the Ravaged Land offers a darker vision of the world that Brandt has been photographing for the last decade, a world still filled with a stunning beauty, but now tragically tainted and fast disappearing at the hands of man. In addition to a range of new, starkly powerful portraits of animals, elephants, lions, leopards, hyenas, that appear to be posing especially for the photographer as if in a studio, Brandt introduces some new themes. For the first time, humans make an appearance in his photographs. On the jacket, a crouched ranger supports the weight of two giant tusks of an elephant killed by poachers. One new series of photographs has hunters' trophies placed back in the epic landscapes where once these creatures roamed. Another features perfectly preserved animals calcified by the salts of a Rift Valley soda lake. In both instances, the subjects appear strangely alive and sentient in death. Brandt also contributes two essays summing up his photographic odyssey, which has taken more than a decade of intensive work to complete. One details his work from the perspective of conservation, giving a broad overview of the wave of destruction of wildlife and habitat across Africa and describing the work his Big Life Foundation is doing to preserve the Amboseli ecosystem of Kenya and Tanzania. The other discusses technical aspects of his project.
I conceived this project in early 2014 to photograph life-size panels of animals in locations where they used to roam, but as a result of human impact on the environment no longer do. Over the years I've driven through countless areas where just 5 to 10 years ago there was animal life, but now has been relentlessly wiped out, sliced up and reduced to bushmeat, leaving vast expanses of land devoid of any large mammals. As my crew and I moved from location to location during the shoot, I continued to be disturbed and depressed. Time and again, places where zebras roamed only 2 years earlier, now whole new towns had risen out of the ground at extraordinary speed. But then I had to stop and ask myself, am I just grieving for the loss of this world because as a privileged white guy from the West, I'll never again be able to see these animals in the wild? Most African people would say that our Western societies trampled all over our own natural world centuries ago in the interests of economic expansion, and that in Africa, they never got much of a chance to develop economically until now. And so now it's their turn to economically grow. Why should they be deprived of the comfortable material lives that we have in the West? In some regards, it's a reasonable argument, but at what cost? In the parts of the world where these animals still exist, poor but teeming with natural wonders, protection of the environment is often the only truly significant source of long-term economic benefit. Take away the animals, and there's almost nothing left of economic value. Once upon a time, we had animals such as these where we lived, but we blew it, wiped them out. But we still have a chance to protect and preserve the places and those animals where they do still live. If we can, corny though it sounds, then the animals, the local communities, us, the planet, we all win.
This Empty World, Nick Brandt's new monograph, features a series of dramatically staged photographs that bring together and reveal the animals and people of East Africa as the victims of environmental degradation in an emotionally powerful, cinematic way. Moving into color photography for the first time, the work is both a technical tour de force and a massively ambitious project in which the sets are constructed on a scale typically seen in major film production. Each panoramic image is a combination of two moments in time, almost all of them captured weeks apart from the exact same camera position. Brandt first builds and lights a partial set, then waits for the animals that inhabit the region to enter the frame. Once captured on camera, the full set is built with the camera remaining fixed in place. The sets include bridge and highway construction sites, a petrol station, a bus station and even a dead forest. Completing the scene with a huge cast drawn from local communities, Brandt then photographs the second sequence. The final large-scale prints are a composite of the two intricately plotted elements. Viewed as a whole, the images vividly illustrate a world in which, overwhelmed by runaway human development, there is no longer space for animals to survive, and beg the question, what kind of world will we live in when stripped of its natural wonders? The Day May Break was photographed in Zimbabwe and Kenya in late 2020. It is the first part of a global series portraying people and animals that have been impacted by environmental degradation and destruction. The people in the photos were all affected by climate change. They were displaced by cyclones and years-long droughts. Photographed at 5 sanctuaries, the animals were rescues that can never be rewilded. As a result, it was safe for human strangers to be close to them. Moreover, photographed so close to them, within the same frame. The fog on location is the unifying visual, as we increasingly find ourselves in a kind of limbo, a once recognizable world now fading from view. However, in spite of their loss, these people and animals are the survivors. And therein lies possibility and hope. For the very first time, the people and animals are photographed together in the same frame. The Day May Break is an ongoing global series portraying people and animals that have been impacted by environmental degradation and destruction. Chapter 2 was photographed in Bolivia in 2022. The people in the photos have all been badly affected by climate change, from extreme droughts to floods that destroyed their homes and livelihoods. The photographs were taken at La Senda Verde Animal Sanctuary, where the animals live are almost all long-term rescues, victims of everything from habitat destruction to wildlife trafficking. These animals can never be released back into the wild. As a result, they are mostly habituated to humans, and so it was safe for strangers to be close to them, photographed in the same frame at the same time. The fog is symbolic of a natural world now rapidly fading from view. Created by fog machines on location, it is also an echo of the smoke from wildfires, intensified by climate change, devastating so much of the planet. However, in spite of their loss, these people and animals are the survivors. And therein lies hope and possibility. As the camera pans across the breathtaking landscapes captured by the lens of English photographer Nick Brandt, a profound sense of awe and wonder washes over me. Each photograph tells a story, not only of the animals that inhabit those vast, untamed lands but also of the intricate connection between their world and ours. In the realm of art, Nick Brandt is more than just a photographer, he is a philosopher, a messenger of truth, and an advocate for the voiceless. His work transcends the boundaries of mere imagery, delving deep into the very essence of existence. Through his lens, he not only captures the raw beauty of the animal kingdom but also highlights the fragile balance of life that we, as humans, often overlook. Brandt's photographs are a poignant reminder of our shared responsibility towards the natural world. With each click of his camera, he beckons us to reevaluate our place in the grand tapestry of life. In his pursuit of documenting the disappearing wonders of Africa, he exposes the tragic consequences of human encroachment and environmental degradation. Through his lens, he immortalizes the majestic creatures that roam the savannas and forests, serving as a haunting testament to their existence. But there is something more profound at play in Nick Brandt's work, a profound recognition of the sentience of animals. In an era where humanity often forgets that animals too experience joy, pain, and a rich tapestry of emotions, Brandt's lens becomes a window into their souls. He captures their essence, their profound gaze, and their intricate expressions, inviting us to acknowledge the depth of their existence. Through his art, he gently whispers, "Look closely, for they are not mere subjects but living, breathing beings." Brandt's philosophy resonates deeply within me, as I too have witnessed the disconnect between humans and animals. In our relentless pursuit of progress, we have forgotten the harmony we once shared with the natural world. We have erected walls of concrete and steel, separating ourselves from the boundless beauty that once enveloped us. In doing so, we have lost touch with our own humanity, our ability to empathize, and our inherent responsibility to protect the vulnerable. As the final words of this visual journey, I implore you to embrace the spirit of Nick Brandt's work. Let it ignite a flame within your heart, urging you to reconnect with the world around you. Let it serve as a reminder that we are not the sole custodians of this planet, but rather one thread woven into the intricate fabric of life. It is our duty, as conscious beings, to safeguard the future of our cohabitants, to honor their existence, and to preserve the delicate balance that sustains us all. May Nick Brandt's photographs serve as a catalyst for change, a testament to the power of art to awaken our collective conscience. And as we embark on this journey, may we never forget that in the eyes of every animal lies a universe of emotions, waiting to be acknowledged, understood, and protected. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. This way, you'll always stay up to date with all the videos I produce here. Until the next one. See you later.